Hey, hey, hey. This is your boy, Dr. Mo, and we are live and direct coming to you from La Plata, Maryland. Today, we have a very special show. We're going to be welcoming Miss Elexis Meeks. And so she is a cosmetologist. She's a very good friend of mine. She has been helping women and people of God empower themselves for many years. And both of us continue to hone our skills to learn more, develop more, and to experience more. And so today, our show is on developing the right mindset. So, my company here, as you can see, is Mind Over Matter Universal. I don't know if you can see that very well. Um, but we specialize in helping to readjust the mindsets of people so that they can reach their full potential. And what does that mean? Well, there are lots of different things that we've told ourselves in the past, stories that we've created, stories that we've adopted that other people have created, um, books, volumes, novels that have been written about us that we unfortunately have adopted. And um, the situation is that we don't want to do that. We don't want people to put things on us. However, the majority of us will accept those things as true. And so we're going to dispel a lot of that information, that disinformation. Right now in the media and over the last couple of years, they've been talking about disinformation quite a bit. And so today, what we want to do is dispel that information so that people are aware of exactly what we're doing, what we're supposed to be doing. And so uh, we're going to give Miss Meeks a few more minutes to jump on, and then we'll go ahead and get started. In the meantime, I'm going to play a little bit of music. So this is Miles Red. This is my son. Um, this song is called 6 a.m. It's an instrumental, but uh, of course, he means a lot to me, and my daughter means a lot to me, and my grandchildren. And this song is just very relaxing. So we're going to give her a couple more minutes and go ahead and hear 6 a.m. On Miles Red. I think this was his second or third release. All right. So we're still giving her a few more minutes, but this is the Mo Mindful Show, so of course I can run the show. So there are several different things that you can do to change your mindset, or really to develop your mindset. And so when we think of the word mindset, essentially there are two words there: mind and set. So mind is obviously thinking about, or considering uh, what you uh, think about, what's in your head, but also what's in your heart. So, like, even in the Bible, it says, out of the abundance of the heart, man speaks. And so, your heart really, in that case, they're talking about your mind. Whatever you're thinking about most is what comes out the most. So, if you're thinking negative thoughts, if you're thinking um, uh, uh, self defeating affirmations, then that's what's going to come about to you. If you're always focused on fear, false evidence appearing real, then those things are going to actually appear real to you. It's like you ever go to a movie and well, this is what happened to me. Let me get personal and vulnerable. So when I was a child, I couldn't deal with horror movies. My sister loved them, and so of course, me trying to be up with her, hang with her, I would get on and watch, behind her back and watch these shows, horror movies, knowing that that night I was going to have a nightmare because those things that were on the screen physically or at least mentally appeared real to me. So, yes, there are things crawling under the bed, and yes, there were things in the closet, and there were things all around me because I had adopted this mindset that this is what's happening. And so I wanted to make sure that um, those things weren't real. So I would have to go to my sister and say something to her, or my mom. And so those are the things that made me feel like, okay, why am I allowing this stuff to really get to me when it's really not real? Well, in life, that's what happens. A lot of us will see something, will hear something um, through our ear gate, and our ear gate is the passageway to our heart, which is the passageway to our minds. So if we constantly are allowing ourselves to hear certain things, or even feeding ourselves, because self-talk is real. Self-talk is not just those people on the street that you look at and like, why is he or she talking to himself? No, we talk to ourselves every day. We talk to ourselves all the time. And even if it's not moving our lips, the thoughts that we're thinking are actually kind of recycling. So I'm a failure. I can't get a job. Nobody wants me. I'm not worthy. All those different things that, for whatever reason, you may have adopted throughout your lifetime, you get into, and it becomes you. It gets into you. And so we want to make sure that we're able to dispel those things, get them out of your life right now. So what I'm going to do is I want to look at the 7 mindset hacks. And okay, our guest is on. Awesome. Hey, 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 welcome.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it is more than a pleasure. I love having you on, and just love being a good friend with you. It sounds like a little feedback. I hope other people aren't hearing that. But yeah, so we're here. We were just talking about, introducing what mindset is, that it's basically 2 parts. It's mind and set. It's the things that go into your ear gate, into your heart, into your mind, your psyche, and then you've set yourself to either receive, or what we're going to do today is talk about setting yourself not to receive those things that aren't you, or that you're not seeking to be, and eliminating the setup that other people have maybe put on you. Okay, so that's what mindset is. So before I jump into the 7 mindset hacks, which I was just about to share, I want you to give us a brief introduction, and I'll mute myself. Give us a brief introduction of who you are, and then we'll go from there. So
Hello, 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 family and friends. It's your girl, Elexis Meeks. I am a cosmetologist and I am also a mindset coach as well. I love talking about abundance and having the abundance mindset. And I am also a mother, I'm a mompreneur. So, yeah, that's what I do. That's who I am. I'm a woman of God. I love God. And I love the works of God and being about my Father's business.
all right, all right. So Alexis, we're going to jump right into the 7 mindset hacks, and then we're going to carry um, our stream from there and just talk about what it means to you. And we're going to be very candid. We may have different ideas. We may have, both of us are very like-minded, but in terms of our definitions, we want to talk about what does it mean developing the right mindset. Like, what is the right mindset, if there's a such thing as that? Okay. So first, let's look at this: the 7 mind All right. So we're going to cover our faces for a moment. And so the 7 ways to get and keep a good mindset. So we have start your day with prayer, positive affirmations, and praise. And so different people do this differently. And so, all of us are very individual. God created us as individual beings. But I would still surmise that you want to start your day with 1, 2, or all 3 of these different things. And essentially, basically, what you're doing is demonstrating that gratitude, being happy about who you are and whose you are and where you are and what's going on in your life. And a lot of times, unfortunately, those things that may befall you that you don't want, that's what we end up focusing on. We even wake up a lot of times with that on our minds. So we're going to just go down the 7 ways, and I'm going to let you chime in at any point. And I'm just muting you in between because I don't know why we're getting that feedback. But so what do you have to say about starting your day with prayer, positive affirmations, and or praise? I put and, but what are your
Yes.
thoughts?
I super love what you said about that. That is very, very, very important because the morning is the time for declaration. It is literally the time for declaration. How you start is how your day will end for the most part. So it's very important to put your mind frame in the mindset of victory, already winning the day. And I love what you said about positive affirmations and prayer, because prayer, you're basically asking God to, give you the grace, the joy, or, whatever it is that you're declaring for that day. And then with affirmations, you're just reaffirming, what it is that you just prayed about. So I super love that. And it's very important that we do that because, like I said, it will dictate how your entire day will be. Although you may, and like I love what you said about how most people wake up and the first thing is, oh, I have bills I have to pay. I have, I have to take my children to school, and everything is just like ringing in your head at once. But although, there's a scripture that says we walk by faith and not by sight. So no matter what it is that's going on around you, or the chaos or the confusion or whatever it is that's happening on around you, you get to actually declare your day and say what your day will be. So I
Right.
love that.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, one thing that my pastor used to tell me is he would give us an example of what something is, and then he would give us an example of what something is not. So, first, I want to give an example of what this doesn't look like. So, or really, it's actually, I like what we talked about earlier this morning. You know, it actually, however you determine something to be. And so, let's think about this. If you ever got out of the bed and as soon as you got up, you stubbed your toe on the corner of the bed or on the dresser. And so now you've already set yourself up. Well, depending on how you responded, your response is your responsibility. Depending on how you responded to that, could set your day. Like you said, how you begin could be how it ends. So now your foot hurts, you're cursing and carrying on like, dang, it's going to be one of those kind of days. So you make a declaration over your life. It's going to be one of those kind of days, right? And sure enough, it is. So then you go in the bathroom and you get in the shower and the water turns cold too quick because your daughter just got out or whatever, and then everything just kind of feels like it's trickling down. So because you've already started with that mindset, you're not giving praise like the fact that you still have water, the fact that you got a little bit of that warm water, the fact that you have a roof over your head, and the fact that you got out of a bed that you had, all those different things you dismiss. Like there were so many different blessings that you could have gave praise for already. Okay, yes, I stubbed my toe, but hey, I have a toe. There are people who have amputated legs. They don't have feet, they don't have toes. I have a toe that I was able to stub. Okay, yes, it hurts, and but it really depends on how you receive that, and then how you really perceive that, how you push that out there, what you say to the universe, what you say to God, what you say to yourself. Okay, it's going to be one of those kind of days. Well, what kind of days is it going to be? It's going to be a bad day because this is the mood that I'm in when I said I made that kind of statement. So that's not what we want you to do. We want you to, okay, bam, I hit my toe and I have a toe and I got out of this bed that I was warm in and I get to take a shower and I get to go to work and I get to see my family and, and. So you have all these blessings that you don't surpass. Let's not do that. Let's give praise. Let's give honor. Let's affirm. Oh, I hit my toe. It's okay. This is going to be a good day. I'm going to be kicking butt today. That's what I'm going to be doing. This was just an indication that I'm going to be kicking stuff today. Kicking away those things that are ailing me. That's what I'm doing. I'm kicking. That was an accidental kick, but I'm kicking today. So I'm sorry for going on in a tangent.
Yes, I love what you said and how you turned that around. We actually had a question in the room and they asked that same question. How do you, okay, if I do stump my toe and then I go to the bathroom and I realize I ran out of toothpaste and, it's just one thing after the other. How do you change that? That was the question. And I love what your response to that. And my response would be very similar to yours. Yes, I stumped my toe. Yes, I ran out of toothpaste. However, here's one of the keys that I learned that I use on the daily. You start focusing on the things that you are grateful for in those moments. So when you're realizing, bad things are just happening, start making a list. Literally get a pen and a paper, carry a little notepad with you, and start writing down things to be grateful for, like 5 things to be grateful for. And what will happen is you will begin to change the energy. You will begin to change the energy. And when you change your inner energy, because all things first start inside, right? It starts inside, and then we create our outer world with whatever is going on inside of us. So if you're angry and you're feeling all these feelings of anger and your feelings create your thoughts, or I'm sorry, your thoughts create your feelings. So if you're thinking that it's going to be a bad day and, oh, I just stumped my toe and there's no toothpaste, the kids are late for school and all these things, if you keep thinking that, you're going to feel that. And as you begin to feel that, you're going to start exerting that out into the universe, into the atmosphere. Absolutely. Right? And then what will happen is the universe works like this: like attracts like. So it doesn't hear that, I don't want to be late. I don't want to be late. All that it hears is I'm late. I'm late. I'm going to be late. So with that being said, words are life. Words can be life or death. So, right. It's very important to, when you start to feel doubt and confusion and sadness or worry and things like that, start focusing on the things to be grateful for. And Absolutely. That will give you feelings of happiness and abundance and possibility. And then that energy will begin to come out into the atmosphere and into the universe. And right. Then it works, likes attract likes. So as I put good energy out there, I put gratefulness out there, abundance and possibility out there, then possibility will start attracting to me. Right. People will just start smiling, hi, and a smile goes a long way. Someone smiling, that makes you want to smile. Like, hey, I was just upset, but your smile just, brightened my mood. It just brightened right. my day. Absolutely. So that's one of the keys. If you take away anything from this live stream right now, it would be when you are having a bad day or you wake up with all this frustration and things, start focusing on the things to be grateful for.
Absolutely.
Focus on the things to be grateful for.
All right. So I love that. I want to welcome, first of all the viewers right now. Thank you for tuning in on this terrific Tuesday morning. I see High Story 7 and Diane. Hey, Diane. I see several other people, but I can't see your names. So, if you can just put in the chat who you are, where you're calling for, you're not calling, but where you're tuning in from. We love to see, what kind of impact we might be making around this country. So again, I welcome everybody and love that you're here. Please continue to stay tuned. We have a fantastic conversation coming up. So let's go ahead and go through the list. If you have any comments, any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. Hey, brother Robert, I see you there, and Teresa, I'm assuming you're there with us. Teresa Swift is. Let me take a quick commercial. Teresa Swift is the author of the book Mint. I reviewed that last month, and awesome. I mean, I actually wish I had the words to describe the book. Um, you have to get it. You can get it on Amazon. It's called Mint, Mint. Her name is Teresa A. Swift, Swift, and phenomenal author. She has another one coming out, Mint 2, and hopefully a Mint 3. And we're looking for movies and Oscars and just all kinds of stuff out of it. And then I didn't mention, and Elexis didn't mention that she's also an author. She's a published author. And so we're going to talk about her book in a little bit too. So let's jump on over to our next, the next mindset hack. So focus on the good things. Oh, we already kind of went through this list. Focus on the good things. Where focus goes, energy flows. And so, Alexis, you already actually covered this, but you want to add some more to this?
That's actually so funny and so amazing. I mean, we think just like how you had that second. That was amazing. Mm-hmm. To add to that, we must be intentional. So, it's not just gonna change just because you hope that it changes. You literally have to be intentional about that. Just like in a relationship, right? Yes. You can't expect to have an amazing, awesome, juicy, loving marriage, fun, fulfilled marriage, if you don't put any intention to have that outcome. So that's what I want, to be intentional about it.
Right. Absolutely. And speaking of intentional, so I've had this conversation recently with a colleague of mine. So it has to be intentional and mindful. So this is the Mo Mindful Show. So let's talk about mindfulness. Several people have heard of the 5 love languages. And so if you are the type of person who really adores affection, but your spouse is one of those people who likes gifts, but you don't recognize that, you're not mindful of what they like, you're mindful of what you like. So therefore you think, well, everybody likes affection. I like to be hugged. She likes to be hugged, right? Or she likes to be kissed, or she likes to hold my hand. And sure, hopefully she does, or he does. And his love language, though, is he likes to be shown gratitude through little trinkets, maybe a little hand signed note saying, "Hey, honey, I love you." You drop it in the person's lunchbox, or you send them a nice text or something like that. Or when they come home, you have a book or something that you just purchased. Some people like that. And so if that's their love language, but you weren't mindful enough to learn what their love language is, how can you be intentional? You can be intentional, but you could be intentionally wrong. So you have to be mindful of somebody else. I see, the official trash is in the house. What's up, DeAndre? And History 7, I love what you just said. Stack the hat. Absolutely. So these hacks aren't individual. These aren't independent. These things you need to do on a daily basis, and all of them. You can't just do one or two. And now, if this is new to you, then start somewhere. We're not saying, perfect everything, but start. Create a list. Have an affirmation. I have affirmations. I have them on my phone, an alarm that goes off that reminds me, okay, I have to say my affirmations. And I've memorized them at this point. All things are possible through God all things are possible for me who believes. God's creative force is unlimited, and therefore I am unlimited. I have unlimited influence because God has unlimited influence. So all these different things I say on a regular basis, so I'm able to really feel it, encompass it. So you have to be mindful and intentional. So I love that you said intentional, but I just wanted to clarify. All right, Diane said it's an awesome book. So I'm assuming you're talking about Teresa's book. Thank you, Diane. All right, so let's see. The next one is exchange low esteem for high self-worth. See yourself as bigger, better, beautiful, brilliant, and bountiful. I love that. See yourself as bigger, better, beautiful, brilliant, and bountiful. So that, to me, that knocks out all the other nonsense that you may have called yourself. So, Queen.
I would love to add to that. What I want people to know is that there is a unlimited, all powerful, all knowing
Yes.
force that is working in you continuously. That is continuously working, an all knowing, all powerful, infinite force, whatever you'd like to call it,
Right.
working inside of you. Right? So, with that being said, if I have an all knowing, all powerful force working inside of me, how is it that I can think that I'm stupid? I don't know enough. I don't have the knowledge.
Right.
It is literally inside of you. Literally. And, there was a time in my life, a long period in my life where I was searching, for God and the answer. And I just felt extremely unworthy, like I wasn't beautiful enough, like I didn't know enough, because I was surrounded by people and things that told me that I was stupid. Right.
Okay.
So, told me that I was stupid and, I would never amount to anything or, and things like that. People will speak word curses over you. But like Dr. Mo said, it is your responsibility. Your reaction is your responsibility. So I can believe it's important. The power of agreement is so powerful.
Yes.
I chose to come into agreement with what they said about me.
Right.
Right. So because I chose to come into agreement with that, I started to live my life as just like that. Like I'm stupid. I don't know enough. I went search all over the world to try to get information and, but I found out that it's inside of me.
Right.
That it is inside of me, literally. And all I have to do is pull it out.
Right.
Literally.
Absolutely.
So that alone is breathtaking for me. It is so breathtaking because then it postures me in a different way. When I'm praying and when I'm speaking my affirmations and I'm making the declarations in the morning, I now know that there is an infinite, all-knowing power force working inside of me. So now I'm just asking, Lord, help me pull this out of me. Right. Help me to know, help me to see and to open my ears so that I can hear and know the things that are that's already inside of me, and then once you start making the declarations, like I know, I'm knowing, I have a knowing, I'm powerful, I'm worthy. And when you start making those declarations, you actually start to believe them, because I'm going to tell you the truth. When you start making those affirmations and declarations, your mind, it's like playing tricks on your mind, because you're not really operating in that. When I started to get
actually, you are operating in that, but you're operating accidentally because you're already speaking to yourself. People are already speaking to themselves and saying the opposite, and they're operating in that negativism that they've adopted. But you're already doing it, whether you want to or not. So you might as well take control of it.
Right. So if I'm saying that I live in abundance, and you look around and you realize that you're not living in abundance, right? So I'm saying every morning I used to tell myself, I live in abundance. I live in abundance.
Right.
But it's as if it's a lie, because you're not operating in abundance.
Right.
Right. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like playing a trick on your mind. It's like playing tug of war in your mind. I'm telling myself I'm living in abundance, but I'm looking around and I don't have no money in my bank account. Right. That's not abundance, right? But the more that you do that and you become to believe that,
mm-hmm.
you will begin to attract that. You will begin to attract abundance, mm-hmm. because that's the power of agreement.
Right.
That's the power of agreement. So like Dr. Mo said, you're already speaking something over yourself. Mm-hmm. You're already speaking and declaring something over yourself.
Understand
right?
that.
So now if I'm speaking and declaring, oh, I don't have enough, it's always one thing after another. Every time I take 5 steps forward, I'm taking 10 back. You're making all these declarations over yourself. That's what's going to be your experience.
Right.
And now that you decided, you're intentional and mindful about saying, I live in abundance. All things are possible because the all-knowing, all-possible God is inside of me. You start making those declarations, then it's like playing tug of war in your mind. I'm telling you, it's like a battle. It's mm-hmm. literally like a battle. And that's why we have to be intentional and mindful about walking in faith and not by sight. So faith is the substance for all things unseen, mm-hmm. And so
the things hoped for, yes.
And things hoped for. Okay, mm-hmm. is the substance of all things hoped for and things unseen. So although you may not see it, this is only something that you're hoping for. You begin to walk in that, mm-hmm. and your life will shift. I'm telling you, it's gonna feel like, you're lying to yourself. You're gonna feel like an imposter. I'm telling you, you're gonna feel like an imposter. Okay, mm-hmm. I'm gonna say it again. You're gonna feel like an imposter.
Right.
Okay, but the more that you say these things and you make these declarations over yourself, the universe is gonna move and shape itself in such a way to work for you because you said it to be that way.
Right.
And just like Dr. Mo said, if you shape your mind and you keep saying that you're taking 5 steps and there's always one thing after another, it's the car, it's the tire, it's this, it's one thing after another, that is going to be your experience as well. So like mm-hmm. he said, you might as well take control over the situation. And Dr. Mo, there was a time where I didn't know that I was in control.
Right.
I did not know that I was in control.
Most of us don't.
I was just laying back and thinking that life was happening to me. Mm. I literally thought that life was happening to me. Like I didn't have control over these feelings. I can't control how I feel. You hear people say that all the time. But I'm here to tell you, you have full control over how you feel. Why? Mm-hmm. Because your thoughts create your feelings.
Right.
So if you think that you're, always going through something or taking 5 steps forward, 10 steps back. If you think that, then you're going to start to feel that.
Right.
But if that is my experience, right? Say that is your experience right now. Mm-hmm. And you begin to think that, guess what? My God turns everything for my good.
Right.
He makes although I made my bed in hell, he's going to turn it around and make it better for my good. He's going to make mm-hmm. it work for my good. Mm-hmm. And if you believe that,
right,
and you agree with that, then that will become your experience.
Even though you don't see it, you don't see it yet. Right. You agree. You believe, though you don't see. It's the hope. It's the hope that you don't see. Absolutely. And so I wanted to just go over something real quick in my book because you brought up a good point. So this is my book, everybody. Mindless plug. A shameless plug, Grace for Granted, Finding Extraordinary Blessings in Ordinary Settings. So there's a section, chapter 4, that says the 4 R's. And so, Elexis, the point you just made, like, you were already speaking over your life. You were already saying things. You were already creating your reality. And so reality, y'all get this, reality is different from truth. Your reality is different from truth. So the The point is to try to align, not try, to align, to work to align your reality with your truth. Okay? Or no, let me turn that around. To align your truth, what God has already spoken over you, what has already been established for you, to speak your truth into your reality. So what you can actually see. So turn that hope into something that you can physically see and you can experience. So in this section, the 4R formula, it talks about 4Rs, obviously. One is recognition. So recognition, if you don't recognize, like you did a chin check. You're like, hold on, I'm already controlling my experience, my destiny, my existence. But what I've been controlling is the negative side of it. I've been accepting what people have already spoken into my life. And now I speak that, those people may have been gone, but I continue to speak that same thing into my own life because now I've adopted it. So first you got to like put the brakes on and recognize, okay, there's some things I've been saying to myself. There's some things that I've been listening to, that I've been accepting, that I've been in agreement with, that are contrary to actually who I am, contrary to who I was created to be. And so recognition is the first key. Okay, identification or acknowledgement that, okay, something's wrong or something's not how it's supposed to be. And then there you come to the realization. And the realization, that's now a conscious alertness. Okay, so yeah, you put the brakes on. So now you're saying, not only do I recognize that I've been saying the wrong things or I've been accepting the wrong things, now the fact that I is in all those sentences. I've been accepting. I've been told this. Well, I am in control. That's the one commonality in all of that. Whether somebody's been telling me and I've been accepting it, or I've come to an agreement and so now I've adopted it, it's still I. So you have that realization that you're in control. And then you have the revelation. This is the third R. Understanding the value and the connection that you have. So knowing that, okay, I'm in control. So that means I can change things. Just like if you're driving a car and now, of course, they have these self-driving cars or self-parking cars. But before all of that, y'all, we had to drive. And so when you drove a car, when you first learn how to drive a car, people tell you you have to be in total control. You're driving a 3,000-pound object that can crush somebody, that can kill somebody, that can crush a building, So you have to be in control. So you have to have that recognition that you have that power to guide and to brake and to accelerate at any time, but you have the power. This is not a self-driving car. And then the last thing is the reconciliation. So now the reconciliation, what does that mean? Okay, whether you're a believer or not, I am, Elexis is, so we're going to speak from our experience. The reconciliation is coming back to who you are, coming back to who you were created to be. So you kind of going full circle. When sometimes we don't have to go full circle. Like if we have parents who from day one was pouring all the positive things, and the news was pouring the positive things, and our teachers were pouring the positive things, and everybody was pouring positive things, we probably could have started from birth and continued on this positive trajectory for our entire lives. Unfortunately, that's not how things are. So we have to unfortunately come full circle from being born sinless to getting the sin and getting those experiences associated with it, and then coming back to reconciliation and saying, okay, God created me to be this powerful being. He gave me dominion. He gave me freedom. He gave me authority over everything. So surely I have authority over myself. So now that reconciliation is saying, okay, I'm coming back to you, God. I'm coming back to the God within me. And so now I'm powerful. I'm going to start speaking like you spoke. Everything God created, how did he create? He spoke it. So now he said he made me in his image. So that means I can do the same things. And then Jesus even said, you'll do greater things than me. And people think all the miracles and stuff are over. People can't do those things that Jesus did. But Jesus told us we're going to do greater things than him. And so where's the contradiction? I mean, not where's the contradiction? There's so much contradiction. So that reconciliation is coming back, recommitting yourself to the source, as some people say, to the universe, as some people say. But as we say, recommitting to God, knowing where you came from and saying, okay, I'm back and I understand who I am. So your thoughts before we go, oops, I'm sorry about that. Before we go on to number 4.
I just want to add that you're at the perfect, whoever is watching, I wish I could see your names so I can call your names out. I know Teresa and DeAndre is watching, but whoever else is watching, I
We
am
got
talking
Renee, Diane. I'm not sure who History is. I can't see, but I believe she's from 100X, a program I'm in, an excellent, awesome program I'm in. And then we got, like you said, DeAndre's here, Robert and Teresa Swift. And that's all I see. But go ahead.
So to all of you and whoever will watch the replay, I want you to know that you are at the right place at the right time doing the right thing. There is no, I know that sometimes we like to say, oh, like Morris said, if our parents would have did this or whatnot, then we could be this and that. But I want you to know that you're at the right place at the right time doing the right thing. There's no better time than this. There is no better way that it could have been. There is no better way, because all things happen exactly as it did for a reason.
Absolutely.
For a reason. Rather, it was to build your faith. Oh, Grandma Cindy's watching.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop.
You are at the right place at the right time. There's no better way that it could have happened. Your parents did the best they could with what they knew how to do. So there was a time where I was upset at my parents, like, oh, they didn't teach me this, all this stuff. I didn't know this. They should have taught me. I didn't know about, credit and all this stuff. I was in that type of energy. But like we said in the beginning, when you feel those feelings and you put that type of energy out there, that's what you'll get more of. I don't know, and I wish, shoulda, woulda, coulda, and all these things. But those are lack mentality. That is a lack mentality. So I'm telling you, you are, rather you're 50, 60, 70, 80 watching this right now, 2, 5, 6, whatever age you are in the perfect space. God said you are a chosen generation. Okay, He has chosen you for such a time as this. Okay, so everything that happened, I'm very grateful for my parents, actually, and because they did the best that they could with what they knew, and they carried me and they brought me into this world, and I belong to God. Right? I belong to God. They were here to carry me, nurture me, and they did their job. Right. They did beyond their job, and they did it in the best capacity that they knew how. So that's where it's important to be intentional and mindful about your growth, about your mindset, and connecting with people that live in abundance or have the abundance mindset or whatever it is that you're desiring. Connect yourself with those people so that you can get an impartation from those people. But there's, when you look back at your past, I want you to be grateful for your past, not to be throw shame or talk about, and all those things, because it's not going to get you anywhere. You needed that. There's a scripture in the Bible where it talks about a sister was born for a time of adversity. So now imagine me and my sister, we fought like cats and dogs growing up, right? And I there was a time where I felt like I hated her. I despised her and all this, she don't want me to be, and all these ill feelings that I had towards her. But growing up, I understand that it had to happen just like that in order for me to have the strength that I have today, the courage that I have today, the boldness that I have today. Why? Because I had to be bold with my sister. She was basically training me for a time just as this, So that is definitely what I would like to add on that.
And real quick on that note, we just talked about the 4 R's. So the reconciliation piece is like you recognize that your parents and your grandparents and all the people who helped raise you did the best that they could. They worked with whatever they had, and at some point, I think everybody needs to recognize that and lose their bitter thoughts or whatever, and at least try to reach out and have reconciliation so that they can be whole. Forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for yourself. So you want to reconcile even unto people. Everything that we talk about doing unto God, it pleases God also when we're good to people, to his people. So we want to make sure that that's a part of it as well.
I love, love, love. That's just so juicy to my soul. That's just, let's take a moment of silence. Deep breath. Inhale, exhale. That was yummy. That was yummy because just what you said, as you do unto people, as I do unto Dr. Mo, and to my husband and my children and my mother and my grandparents, the scripture literally says, you are doing it as if that's me.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing it unto them as you do unto them, you're doing it unto me. So if we dwell in unforgiveness and bitterness, we basically have unforgiveness towards God, bitterness towards God, pride towards God. And the Bible says that he despises, he rejects the pride. So if you're having so much pride towards this person or towards someone, God will reject you himself. So I love that. I love what you said. That's such a great reminder, that's so juicy to my soul. I love it. Thank you.
So we're going to go on to the next thing. Amanda, she says she's walking her dog and she's seeing all kinds of signs of affirmations right now. And that's right. Just look around and they are all around you. And Renee, she says she started off having a blah, blah day. And she's happy that she remembered to come on here and we're being positive. And like each one of us have our role and responsibility. Positivity begets positivity. Like we said, you speak things into your own life that are positive. And so we're grateful that we're able to do this. So the next one is picture failures as opportunities and losses as lessons. My saying is, I never lose, I just learn. So picture failures as opportunities and losses as lessons. You never lose, you just learn.
Yes, I love that. I love that. That is absolutely true. That is a mindset. And so everything is about mindset, right? Like everything is literally about mindset. You have the opportunity to perceive something as a loss or, and failure, or you can shift that energy and you can look at it as okay, you can ask yourself, it's so important. I'm going to make a book about this. It's important, a book of powerful questions, because that's what I believe we fail to do is ask ourselves these powerful questions. One question that I would ask myself when I experience a loss or a failure or something that's unpleasing to me, something that I didn't necessarily pray for or I didn't want to happen, right? Say if I got a nail in my tire, I was going to work, I'm already, I'll make it just on time if I leave right now, but I got a nail. So now I'm going to be late, right? I can look at that like as a loss, as failure. I don't like being late to work, but now I have to be late to work. I can look at it like that. Or I can say, hey, ask myself this question. What was I supposed to learn from this? What can I get from this?
Exactly.
When you ask yourself that, now your mind goes to thinking, oh, what you can do is check the car the night before. You can make sure that you have gas in the car before the day before. You can start plugging things in to actually
you can start being intentional
take
now.
action on those things. And that's going to help your life, go a little better versus just dwelling in that. Now you missed the whole lesson.
So we talked about being mindful and then intentional. Yep.
Yes, so you have to ask yourself powerful questions. What when you're experiencing a loss or failure, what can I learn from this? What can I take
Right.
from this?
Right.
You
And
know,
we're not
and that
encouraging a.
goes,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go
That
ahead.
goes into accountability, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like taking
Mm-hmm.
accountability and responsibility and control over your life. Instead of
Right.
thinking that life is just happening to you, no, I'm going to
Right.
take control over the situation. How? What lesson can I learn from this? When I was
Right.
experiencing a bad breakup, you know, a bad breakup, and I just felt like nothing, right? I felt like I was left with absolutely nothing, empty inside, emotional, physical, I mean, everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I continue to ask myself, what am I supposed to, Lord, what were you trying to show me in this? What
Right.
did I miss? What can I get from this? What lessons can I take from this?
Right.
You know, and one lesson would be that, you know, you don't act as a married couple when you're single,
Right.
right? And so
Mm-hmm.
that one shift has me in a posture that will allow me not to be broken spiritually,
Right.
you know. So it's important that we grasp the lesson and apply the lesson.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, and what I was going to say um, is that we don't want to be. I was going to say my train of thought. I'll come back to it. I know it'll come back. Holy Spirit will bring it back to me. Okay. So I want everybody to please like and share this broadcast, and then also subscribe, um, so that you have notifications. We have another wonderful show coming up on next week, Wednesday, the 11th at 6 p.m. And we're going to be featuring Miss Coach Sheila Cunningham, another author and a trainer and a mindset coach and nutrition freak in a good way. So, we're going to be talking to her about organizing and balancing your life. So you definitely want to tune in next week. So make sure you like this, you share this broadcast, because this will be able to be replayed anytime, and that you will subscribe to it. You have something to say?
I was just going to say, she's amazing. You guys don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. She's going to give you tips on nutrition and how to live a healthier lifestyle. I know for sure. So
Yes.
definitely you do not want to miss that. She's amazing. She has lots of energy and knowledge that she's going to feed us. So hop on.
Absolutely.
I'll be on. So make sure you guys join me. If you're going to be with me, you're joining me, let me know in the comments right now. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. Let me know. Like,
Yes,
share,
yes,
and
yes.
subscribe. Share
That's
with your
right.
friends, family, anyone who's dealing with health issues or whatnot. She's going to help you get the right mindset and the right foods to eat and all those juicy things that can help the situation.
Literally and figuratively. Yes, yes. All right. So our next one is transform limiting beliefs into creative relief. So your thoughts are your truth. So that's my little saying, everybody. Your thoughts are your truth. And we've been speaking about this whole morning. Basically, whatever we start to believe and receive, then that's what, as some would say, Napoleon Hill would say, that's what we achieve. And so we want to make sure that our thoughts are aligned with what we want out of life. Okay. Our thoughts are aligned with what we want out of life. We just said we never lose, we always learn. And Amanda repeated that. Whatever we want, that's what we should focus on. Those things that we don't want, don't give any thought to it. It's pointless, because as soon as you start to think about it, that's where that energy flows. That's where um, uh, you have a pull at you, a tug of sorts that's pulling you toward that negative thing. So turn away. If you got to physically turn away from something, physically turn away. If it's not physical, but it's figurative, and you got to turn your mind away from it, hey, grab a book. Grab a book. Grab, something like that. You need to read. All right. This is by Claude Bristol. I don't know if y'all can see that. Claude Bristol. It's called The Magic of Believing. I already told you about this book, and you can get my book on Amazon, Grace for Granted. All right. Knowing your purpose will help you understand a lot. So Miles Monroe, Pursuit of Purpose. And then the Humble, Hungry Hustle. This has a lot of great principles. And while we're talking about books, Into Me I See. Into Me I See. You don't want to talk about that?
Well, the thing with that book is I'm not promoting that book right now.
Okay.
I'm actually revising that book.
Okay.
So
awesome. All right. So we're gonna look.
It's gonna be coming soon. It's I actually changed the title. It's called Snatch Your Life Back.
Snatch Your
Life Back. So that is the book, the revision. It will be out sometime this year. I will definitely keep you all posted on that. But yes, as of right now, I'm not promoting that book.
All right. So we're gonna have you back. Hopefully you can do the launch right here with me, and we'll set it out there. All right. Next one is I said that one. Well, I want to talk about that a little bit more. The limiting beliefs. And as we talk, we always talk about the stories that we tell ourselves. And so when I first came on, I'm not sure if you were on at that point, but I talked about there are stories, there are chapters, there are volumes that we've heard about ourselves and that we've told ourselves. And so start thinking about the things that you've told yourself and make the adjustments to what you want to tell yourself. So we are, fortunately, we're talking about being authors. We are the authors of our own reality. We're also the producers. We're the stars in our own films. We're the directors. We have all the different roles. We're the camera people. We're everything that you need to run your life and to create the movie of your own life the way that you want it to be. So if you continue to tell yourself certain stories, that's the movie that's going to keep running. But if you want to change that movie, change that storyline, come from a drama and make it a comedy or something else, then that's what you're going to need to do. But you want to make sure that you, again, are mindful and intentional about the stories that you're telling yourself. We lost Elexis. She'll be back. So let me go to the comments real quick to see if there's any new comments. And everybody, please chime in. We want your feedback. If you have any questions, if you have any more comments, we love engaging with our audience here on the More Mindful Show. So the next one, and she's coming back right now. Let me add her. All right, so the next one is focus on the present. All that you have is now. Focus on the present. All that you have is right this moment. My thoughts on that. So there's a scripture in the Bible that I really like, and I share it with people all the time, is tomorrow will worry about itself. Most people are focused on what they believe is going to happen. Okay, so tomorrow I got to pay this bill. Tomorrow, or next month, this situation. I can't even think of different things, but you're always anticipating in an anxious way. And the Bible says, do not be anxious about anything. In an anxious way, you're anticipating something coming up. So you're worrying about tomorrow. And the Bible says tomorrow will worry. In some versions, it says tomorrow will take care of itself. So like that absolves you of the responsibility of even being concerned about tomorrow. And the reason why I put this on our mindset hacks is because if all we are thinking about is now, then we are able to live in the present. Like yesterday is gone. You can learn from yesterday, which you should be learning. You can prepare for tomorrow, but it's not promised. But you have right now. Like if the apocalypse came right now, we're done. So tomorrow, it doesn't matter who I owe. It doesn't matter, if I'm going to be able to get up. It doesn't matter that I'm feeling this way and I'll probably feel worse tomorrow or whatever, whatever thoughts you have in your mind. It doesn't even matter. None of that stuff matters. And what happened yesterday and last month and all that stuff doesn't matter either, because all you have is today. And if you live in the present, and present, think about that word present. It's a gift. If you live in the present, then you are ridding yourself of a lot of issues and anxieties because you're living in the now. You're looking at the now.
I love what you said about that. And it also says that tomorrow has enough trouble in its own. And Pastor Jamie Lovett he did a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful explanation, a whole scene in regards to that. Basically, he had me carry weights, right? Because tomorrow I have enough trouble of its own, which means each day has trouble. But the great thing about it is that God has already given you the ability to overcome that trouble for today.
Grace,
right?
yes. Mm-hmm.
But when you go ahead and take on tomorrow's trouble, yesterday's troubles and worries, and the next day and next month and this day's troubles, you have entirely too much in your hand.
Oh, wow.
And
That's a
you're
good
not
illustration.
able to help anyone or do anything that you were supposed to do in that day because your hands are already full.
Right.
So
that's good.
Yes, I mean, listen, it took my breath away. It helped me really understand that, today has enough trouble. Focus on today, execute the day. Tomorrow, you'll be able to, do more tomorrow. You'll have more grace. You'll have the strength. You'll have more strength for that day. But if you've already weakened yourself today by worrying about the past and what you could have, would have, should have did better, and tomorrow who you owe, what you have to pay, and all these things, God will supply your every need. If he takes care of the lilies and the birds and all these things, how much more for you, the greatest creation? How much more for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that was a beautiful illustration. Think about it, you guys. She just talked about carrying weight. So say you got a 10-pound weight from yesterday, and then somebody gives you another 20-pound weight for today. So now you already got both your hands full. You got one 10-pound, you got a 20-pound, and then somebody puts one of those weighted shoulder bags on you. It's 30 pounds for tomorrow. And last week you take a few more pounds, and so you gonna get weighted down. I just got I just heard the spirit of Erykah Badu, Bag Lady. Remember that song, Bag Lady? You gonna hurt your back carrying all those bags like that. And I know I don't sing all that well, but y'all get the point.
Like, I can sing. Let me sing it for you.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Bag lady. Yep. So, I mean, just think about it. All this baggage, and that's what you're carrying. It's like traveling. You carrying the bags from when you came from the hospital, you got some bags. And then when you went home and all the baggage that your family gave you, and then you moved out and all the baggage that society gave you, and you still holding on to all that stuff. One, your hands aren't open to receive anything else. You can't even receive nothing because you holding on to stuff. So you gotta let it go. Let it go. Let it go. What is that from that children's Snow? What's it called? Snow?
Let it go. Frozen. Let it go.
Yeah. You gotta let it go.
Morris, you want to know something so interesting that I found out? It's memory loss. I want to say it's called what is it called when you have memory loss? Amnesia? When you get older?
Oh,
What is it?
Look at that. It
Someone
sounds like
let us know in the comments, you guys.
I,
What is it
I'm
when you
getting older now, so
um I cannot think of the name, but somebody let us know in the comments.
yeah, it'll come.
Yeah, so when you have, they say it's like memory loss when you get older. Do you know why people have that? It's because they're holding on to so much memory from the past that they literally don't have enough room to obtain new memory.
Wow.
I mean, when I found that out, that blew my brains. And I don't know if you guys heard before, but all disease, it comes from something spiritual. It comes from something spiritual. So when you correct that, then you will be able to, it will manifest in the physical.
Right.
So if as I begin to let go of memory and let go of things, when I get older, I won't have that problem.
Right.
When I found that out, it blew my mind. Because you think it's just genetic, right? And that's why it's so important for us to unlearn and relearn things.
Alzheimer's and dementia.
There you go. Alzheimer's. That's what I was trying to say.
Yep, that's good. And I heard about the same thing. Like as you're continuing to feed your brain, if you keep working it, then it keeps working. But like if you let it get stagnant and all you're doing is watching television, as you get older or whatever, and that's all you do, you come home from work or you come home and you just watching TV all day long, all day long, all day long. You're not doing any crossword puzzles. You're not actually reading a book. You're not, singing a song. You're not taking walks and exploring the abundance of God. Then you start shutting down. Your brain isn't firing these what they call synapses. They're not. Nothing is firing because nothing's moving. So yeah.
Yes, I love that. That
That's
actually
important.
reminds me of my grandfather, my great grandfather, P.W. Odoms. And he built houses when he was young and buildings and all this amazing things. And when he got older, he continued clean. You'll always catch him early in the morning, cleaning the garden, feeding the cats, doing something, building, fixing on this, fixing on that. And sometimes people will tell you, and that's why it's important to let go of those limiting beliefs that people are telling you, because people would tell him, even us, sit down somewhere, just relax. It's okay. Everything gonna be all right.
Right.
Your body, we feel that your body is not equipped for all that. You're getting old and all those things, but he knew something that we didn't know. And I think that was just what you said, that if you keep working the brain and you keep going at it, your brain is going to keep working it. Your body is going to believe it. And you're going to see the manifestations. So I love that.
Yeah. All right, we got a couple more and then we're going to get off because we're over a little bit. So the next one is, well, actually, this is the last one. Surround yourself with positive people. And I made an acronym. I like to do stuff like that for the word friends. So true friends are the F is for fun, R is for reliable, the I is for inclusive, E is for encouraging, N is definitely necessary, they're dutiful, and they are supportive. So surround yourself with people, with positive people. What are your thoughts on that?
I have a beautiful thought on that. Okay, it is very important to surround yourself with positive people and whatnot. That's a given. However, so important to me, a true friend is someone who will correct me and love. So that may not look positive to me. It may look like you're bashing me and like you're coming at me and you're attacking me and you're judging me and all those things. However, if you don't speak truth to me and love and correction to me, then basically you're saying that you're okay with me falling. You're okay with me, living a lie, or you're okay with me portraying to be something I'm not, or whatever the case is. I think a true friend is someone who will correct you in love. And it's important that we embrace that. Because for me, for instance, if I'm not the best in my finances, right? I make a lot of money, but I don't know how to really manage it or distribute it properly,
Right.
right? But you, Dr. Mo, have the key to that. You have the solution for that, but you choose not to tell me because you want to be positive and you want to just feed me life and things like
Right.
that. But life is also correction. The God said if he loves you, he will correct you.
Correct you. Mm-hmm.
Correction is love.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be mindful with that and understanding too that if you don't speak on those things, you're not being a true friend in my eyes. You're just allowing that person to be,
Right.
just like whatever. But how I feel and how I experience friendship,
Mm-hmm.
um, is if I'm failing in something, we're both failing in something.
Right. Right.
It's one band, one sound.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important for us to also have friends that will correct us in love.
Right. Absolutely. And the Bible says, "Fathers, do not spare the rod." And so, He's the God. God is and He sent Jesus here to be a living example of what we are to do and what we're not to do. And so, even in the Word, if He says fathers aren't to spare the rod, as a friend, as a person of God, you shouldn't spare the rod. That means you shouldn't avoid, like you said, correction. If we love somebody, we should correct them. And if you're not correcting them, there are these things called deposits and withdrawals. And if you're not correcting a friend in love, then you're actually making withdrawals because you're not building them up. You're not making them better. And so saying nothing is like death. Um, there used to be a saying, I forgot what it went with, but it said silence is death. And so not saying anything and all you think is, well, I don't want to bring this person down or I don't want to correct them. Like you said, I always want to speak positivity. Well, you are speaking positivity. Again, we go back to one of the first ones. You got to change the way that you're thinking about things. This is positively pouring into this person by helping them to correct or to improve or to get better on an area in which you think that they're not. Now, there's a thin line between love and hate. You want to make sure that every time somebody is doing something, you're not up. There's something else. Up. There's something else. Up. There's something else. Because now it can become malicious, and you're not pouring into them. You're actually tearing them down, especially if they start to come in agreement with the things that you said. Uh, if it's said improperly, and if it's said too much. So you got to be again mindful. The More Mindful Show. You got to be mindful of how you do things. And that all comes with practice. That all comes with educating yourself, preparing.
Yes. I want to give you guys a key really quick that can help with that I just learned that shifted my whole life, and I'm very grateful and postured me in an amazing way. So this come from Papa Lowe, Prophet Loving Elias, and he said that when you're correcting someone or when you're addressing an issue with someone, you want
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that you posture your heart posture to walk in love. So what does that
Mm-hmm.
look like? If I want to discuss a matter that I have with my husband, right? I want to make sure I'm doing it in love so that he can receive it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So how would I do that? I would make him a nice dinner or get him his favorite something,
Right.
and that will posture my heart to operate in love, know that I'm doing it because I love you. That will show him that, love comes first. And then that will create the space for me to voice, what it is, my concern or whatnot,
Right.
and vice versa. If you have a spouse or a friend or whatever, your children, even when it comes to our children, and thank you, Holy Spirit, because this is for me as well. Even when it comes to your children and you want to correct them, you don't want to just be whooping them all over the place and yelling at them and screaming at them, because when you talk at someone, they don't really receive it as much.
Right.
Right. So I'm going to take on that challenge my own self, and I'm going to make sure that I'm walking in love when it comes to my kids, and then bring the correction after that, after love. But love comes first.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so you may have heard this expression, you are the sum total of your five closest friends. And so it, whoever you hang around, that's who you're going to be like. Um, I heard it yesterday. Um, Affiliation breeds assimilation. So if you continue to be around certain people, like you just talked about finances. If you're trying to improve your finances, you don't want to hang around for other broke people. You want to find a circle of people who are doing well with their finances. And so, like when I said you're the sum total of the five of your five closest friends, you can have different pockets of friends. So in your finances, okay, well, this group of friends, they're good for one thing, but they're not good with finances. So I'm gonna hang around this group when I'm really trying to feed that spirit of abundance. I want to learn what people are doing. I want to say what they're saying. I want to read what they're reading. So I'm gonna hang with this four or five people because that's what they're doing. Now, this other group, maybe they're good for something else. They feed my positive spirit. They're always saying positive things and taking in encouraging activities and things like that. So I want to hang around this group of friends. But you want to make sure that again you're intentional about who you're with, who you hang around, and things like that. So you have any closing remarks before we cut off?
I wanted to share one book. If I can give you one book that will help you to get into that mind frame and the mindset that we have about, it would be Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Yes. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. I just want to give you one quick little thing that's in there that will make your mind explode. So basically, Napoleon Hill's son was born with no ears. Literally born with no ears. The doctor told him he will never be able to hear. It's impossible for him to hear. It's physically impossible for him to hear. And this is the book right here. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Right? They told him that, everybody told him, physically he will not be able to hear. But Napoleon Hill knew that there was an infinite power inside of him and in his son that continued to continuously working in him, that will cause him, that is able to do miracles, signs, and wonders, right? Mm-hmm. That the naked eye can see.
Right.
That was a knowing. That's a knowing, right? So he held on to that knowing, no matter how many doctors they went to see that said, sir, I understand you have all the faith, but guess what? It's not happening, right? He held on to that. When his son went to college, his son was able to hear 100%, family, 100%. Okay, so this book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, it will help you to put you in the mind frame of thinking and growing rich. You can get finances, you can get health, you can get whatever it is that you need and you desire with this book. I am telling you. And also, I want to do like a group with this. A group with this. So just stay tuned, you guys. Like it says below, follow us on IG, Elexis and Dr.Mo_Red. Go ahead and follow us, you guys, so you guys can stay connected with us.
Yes. So I'm going to leave you all with my closing words, as I always say. Your thoughts are your truth. So this is your boy, Dr. Mo, signing off. We love you. We appreciate you. And again, sign on next week, Wednesday, for a special presentation with Coach Sheila C. And so have a great week. God bless.